What's up, everybody? It's your boy Slim, aka Mr. Different. Not motivated by money, but the like, comments, subscribe, and views. And today we're going to talk about arrangement because you guys have requested this. Like, I got a lot of comments saying, Slim, make an arrangement tutorial. How do we arrange? Thoughts behind arrangement? Give us some tips on arranging. Help us out with arranging our beats. And wow, I'm surprised that you guys really want a video about arrangement. So with that being said, I'm going to do it because, hey, if you guys ask for it, damn right, I'm gonna do it for you guys because you guys are my favorite people out there. You're my fans, my followers. I do like that, and I do want to support you guys and help you guys out. So thank you for your support. So I'm not gonna go through and meticulously do arrangement, but I'm gonna talk to you about, how you should arrange, why you should do what you should do in arrangement, and just some tricks to help you out when you are arranging your beats, because there are certain things you can do to better improve your beats and make them that much more interesting, because arrangement is really the thing that keeps the listener's attention. If your arrangement is weak, then the listener or the audience or even the artist will not like your beat because it'll be boring, flat, uninspiring, like that. So you don't want to have something like too static that's like just sound like a loop playing over and over and over. That gets boring and repetitive. The attention span of most people is, I think, the maximum of 8 seconds. I think it's supposed to be like 8 seconds at the minimum or something like that. Like, people have very short attention spans, so you have to keep them interested. You have to constantly keep them interested. So within them 8 seconds, you have to switch it up on them and to keep them going, or else they're gonna fall off. So there's a method behind it. It's actually been a study and a research behind that. So yeah, I think the longest is like 5 minutes. I think it's like the longest attention span of most people. So yeah, you just gotta stay within those boundaries and and keep people interested. So you don't want a too long beat, too short beat, blah blah blah. That's third. So I already got a beat arranged. Now this is the beat that I made, the Wonder Girl type beat. So I think this one's like probably one of my better arranged beats in my opinion. And I did some pretty cool, unique tricks in this to get it to sound as cool as it did. So I'm gonna use this as an example and talk about why I made all these decisions, go more in depth into the arrangement of the beat, not just how to make the beat. But first, I'm gonna show you a little trick to help you get started with your arrangement. Now, a lot of people ask me, how do you take everything in the first pattern and actually put it in the beat? That little shortcut. I'm gonna teach you guys. It's very simple. So let's just go ahead and we'll just leave that alone. Hopefully, it don't mess up my thing. It shouldn't. But anyway, I'm gonna put the pattern in the beat. Now, as you see right here, it's every sound. Now, how do I split all that up into different channels? Magically, apparently. It's a little shortcut I use all the time. If you go right here, you bring down this window and you go split by channel, what that's gonna do is gonna individually split all of them into their own channel. Now, I already done it, but when you do it, I'll just do it again. I ain't gonna save this anyway. When you do that, now if you click off, you can drag each individual sound by itself. So it just makes arranging that much more easier. See, I have each individual sound. As you can see, they're each different patterns. Oh crap. They're individual patterns, and that's how I get my range. I'll just make everything in one pattern window. Okay, I use my ghost notes and all that. And now I'll just put the pattern in the sequencer and then use that little shortcut, which is split by mixer channel, and boom, it takes everything and put it in its own channel. That way, when it comes to arranging, it's a lot easier, So pretty cool. There you go, that's a shortcut, use it. Anyway, let's get back to arranging. Now, one thing I like to do is, back in the day, I used to make super long intros. Intros exceeding 30 seconds. I think there's a 30-second rule. Your intro should never be longer than 30 seconds. It shouldn't. Never, ever, ever make your intro longer than 30 seconds. Now, because the reason behind that, you don't want because the buildup is real. You don't want to sit there in the artist going, yeah, blah, 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 talking, yeah. You don't want that. That's boring, it's uninspiring. People skip to the next song, next beat. They don't like that. If I have to listen to an intro that's super long, I automatically turn it off because I don't got time for it. Because I don't get time for it. Me being an artist as well, and being an artist, I don't care too much about super long intros unless the song needs that. Unless you specifically making a song specifically with that in mind, like an artist requested a long intro, do like a talking type section where you're talking or whatever, doing whatever, then you should do that. But you should never make a long intro, more than 30 seconds. If you notice in this beat, the intro is about 17 seconds. So about 15 to 17 seconds, 15 at the lowest, 17, I said 30 at the maximum, 30 seconds would be right here. And that's already, in that point, it's already the second part of the chorus. But the intro in this beat is only about 17 seconds. So that gives plenty of time to be like, Okay, so very short. It goes straight to that little. They got enough time to say, speak whatever they gotta say, and then the chorus come right in. Now, your choice between chorus first or verse first is up to you. That's completely up to you. There is no right or wrong way. You can do the chorus first. You can do the verse first. Just remember, if you do the chorus first, you have more choruses. If you do, like say, I use only 2 verses. I only make beats with 2 verses. I don't do 3 verse beats no more. I used to make all my beats with 3 verses. A headache, and don't do it. In my opinion, I think 2 verses is like the sweet spot, unless it's like a remix or you got more than one artist, a lot of artists on there, then you can go with more than one verse, but you got to kind of shorten down your choruses to compensate for that. But I think 2 verse, like me, if you do a chorus first, you usually have a chorus, verse, verse, or chorus, verse, chorus, and then, the end of the song. That's how I do it. If you do verse first, you have like verse, chorus, maybe the end of the song, maybe another verse. I don't know. But there is no right or wrong answer. Just know, me personally, I think you should have a minimum of 2 verses, unless like a freestyle beat or it's just like one long type of beat. Or if you have 3 verses, the last verse should be half of the first 2 verses. So if you do a 16 bar for the first 2 verses, then the third verse should be a 8 bar. It should be half of what the first 2 were, just to keep the time down. Because if you don't, you have a long beat. Unless, like I said, the artist requests that specifically, and you're making a custom-made beat, and that's what they want, then it's perfectly fine. But if you're doing this just to put out a beat, keep that in mind that if you do 3 verses, it's gonna be, it's gonna exceed that attention span of people. So be careful. So let's start with the intro first, because the intro is like the best part. Like the intro is like what's gonna build to your beat. Now there are a bunch of ways to do your intros. Me, I like to start with a minimalistic intro, meaning I like to have very little sounds in the intro, and then drop straight into all my sounds coming in, starting to build up in there. Now, one way I like to go about this is picking like the 2 most ambient or softest sounds in my thing, mainly my main melody. So I always pick my main melody first, right here. That's my main melody, and then I would add something ambient to it. So it'd be a bell, maybe a vocal chant, maybe a background lead, whatever's my ambient noise, I'll add that to this. So in this case, I picked my choir. And that's all you will hear in the intro, because that way you don't want to give away too much of your beat right off the bat. You want to kind of build up that suspense and lead them into the full song. So therefore, I picked those right there. Your main melody, and then like another sound to go with that complements it. Now, don't put, like I said, you can do drums if you want to. You can do 808s. That's perfect fine. It'll give a different feel to it. So if I do the drums and my main melody, it has a different feel to it. It has a more upfront, aggressive, like you already kind of feel like it's gonna be an aggressive type beat, because I had the 808s already in there. If I pick that one little underwater sound, then it has a different feel too. See, that has more of a, since it's like the metronome going off. It has more of a constant bounce and rhythm to it, so they kind of can catch the rhythm before the beat comes in. I could have chose my ARP, for example. I'm just giving you that example. I could have chose my ARP. Can I put my ARP in, please? Thank you. I could have chose my ARP instead, and it would have gave a different feel as well. So see, that gives it more of a more happier, more energetic feel to it. So depending on how you start off your beat will determine, the feeling of your beat and how it's gonna go in there. So choose wisely when you're doing that. Like I said, depending on what you do. Like I said, it doesn't matter which one you do, just everything you choose will have an effect to it. So like I said, if you start off with the intro, make sure that you have like minimum sounds going into the beat. That way you're building up into it. Now I've seen some people just start off like straight into the beat. That's cool, that's fine. They don't get no build up, it's just like boom, here on the beat, let's go. But I like to build up into my beats because it just gives it suspense. And like I said, when I pick my choir, it gives it more of a ominous, kind of spooky, kind of, dark feeling, because when you hear angels in the background with a weird, distorted type of pluck or melody, you're already thinking like, oh, it's gonna be some, kind of dark type of sound just by hearing it. He about to say some painful, hurtful, mean stuff. So that's one thing to do. And also put your tag in the beginning too. MrDifferent. just playing with you. So yeah, so that's why I chose that. Next, I want to have something that leads into my chorus. How am I going to lead into my chorus and really give my chorus or verse, or lead into the chorus or verse, some impact? One thing I decided to do was a tape stop effect. Now, I will happily make a tape stop video, no problem. You guys asked for it, I would definitely do it. Let me know in the comments below. But the tape stop effect just kind of brings it right into it gives it that energy, like you got that build up, and then it just like, why is it going off, and then boom, then the 808 stuff come in, and it just, like I said, it gives that impact, gives that punch, and it knocks the listener's ears open. You know what I'm saying? So if you listen to it, like, without the tape stop, that's what it would sound like. Yeah, kind of straightforward. Yeah, it's cool, but with that tape stop effect, now you have that, like I said, it's like, well, whoa, and then it comes in. It giving that, like I said, arrangement, the different things to people. Now, you know, hearing this, like I said, without the tape stop, it's kind of boring, straightforward, plain Jane. I don't want to hear that, Slim. You know, I ain't got time for that. Man, I swear to God, I got a big head. What she said. But yeah, so that's gonna, you know, affect the way, you know, your listeners are gonna perceive the song. Like I said, if you had that static, no tape stop effect, like I said, it just be kind of boring. It's like, okay, it's just crazy, it's cool, it works. But that tape stop just adds that extra bit of, you know, like, difference in the whole beat. It just gives it more oomph, more niceness. Okay, now, so just choose something like that. You can do a tape stop, a reverse effect, a glitch effect, a mute. A mute works too. So if you want to mute at that point, you can definitely do a mute with gross beats. So with the automation clip, you can do whatever you want to. But just something that kind of like separates the intro from the main part is a good way to go. So they say that tape stop is the separation between it. So you got intro, separation, which tape stop, and then boom, now the chorus comes in, and it just gives an impact. Now, one thing I like to do for my choruses, now this is, you know, suggested what you can do. I like to filter out a lot of my choruses. If you ever noticed, a lot of my choruses either had like the first part filtered out or second part filtered out. Now, why I do that? I believe every 8 bars needs to be different. Whether it be the chorus or the verse, every 8 bars has got to be different, because, like I said, the minimum attention span of people is 8 seconds. So 8 bars, you know, I count like every 8 bars, 8 seconds. I just do like that. It's not the same, but you know, 8. That rule of 8. Keep that rule in your mind. I always think the number 8. So with the first half of the chorus, the first 8 bars is filtered out. So you can do filter it out. You can have some crazy glitch effects. You can do whatever, you know, just separate it from the plain Jane full chorus, which is the second part. So you got the first chorus, which is. See, you got the filtered out part and you got the non-filtered out part, but the non-filtered out part has the whole chorus in there. The filtered part has elements of the full chorus, but not. So I took out a few sounds. That just gives, like I said, that just gives it that interest, that energy, that difference. You know, it gives it separate. It's not the same. So we got the intro, then we got the separation, then we got the 2 different parts of the chorus. So, and that just, like I said, that just gives it more impact. It makes it sound like you're doing more to the beat than you're actually doing. Because if you look at the beat is really not got a whole lot going into it. But by doing these type of techniques, the beat sounds like you put more work into it, and it sounds bigger and fuller. And like I said, like you spent a lot more time with it. You know what I'm saying? So you got to use that illusion that you're giving the person more. So, you know, you don't have to do more, but just giving the feeling that they're getting more and you're doing more is the illusion of, you know, that's the whole point of being a beat maker producer. These choices that you make, you know, come together. So however you do your chorus is how you do your chorus. I can't tell you how you do your chorus. Just make sure, you know, you have it somewhat different, because you don't want the chorus to be saying, like you said, you could have all the drums here, cut the drum down, snares here. You can have you could do so many combinations, but you want to keep that, you know, difference between the first half of the chorus and second half of the chorus. So my first half of the chorus is filtered out. Second half of the chorus is the full chorus by itself. And then you can add some kind of separation between, like, another tape stop effect, a rise or whatever. I didn't do it in this beat because I didn't think I needed it, but That separates the chorus from the verse. You also want to have those spaces of separation so people know, so the artist knows that, okay, here comes the chorus, here comes the verse, here comes the, they know what's coming up. So you want to keep that kind of separation, but that's all subjective. Now, when it comes down to the verse, like I said, the rule of 8 still applies here in my verse. If you notice, every 8 bars is a different pattern structure. Okay, and if you haven't noticed that in some parts there's only a certain sound that pops up only one time. And I do that because it makes the beat sound like you put in more work. I have 2 sounds in this whole beat, which is this right here and this one right here, which only happened once in the whole beat. The whole song happened once in the chorus. So you have this part right here, which is the bells. And then you have these other bells right here that happen near the end of the verse. And those only happen, they don't happen in the chorus. They don't happen in the intro. They don't happen, they just happen right here in these 2 parts in the verse. Like I said, those are my first two like separations between my 8-bar rule. Also, what I do is you want to switch up your drum pattern, 808 pattern, or snare pattern once or twice in the whole beat. If you haven't noticed, I have 3 different 808 patterns. I have, if you listen right here, I'll mute them. We have this first one, which is the standard. Well, this is the standard, which is. Then the first part of the verse, you have the high. It has the higher note added into it. Okay, then we go back to the standard version because we got the first 8 bars like with the high low notes. The second part has the standard back, and then the third part has a different intro to the beat. So if you listen to it, the first one goes like this. It's one sustained note all the way through. The second one does this. Dun, dun, dun. See, it's different. So you have 3 different drum patterns and it goes back to the original. You know what I'm saying? So you have 3 different drum patterns within the verse. And that just gives evolution, evolvedness. It makes the beat sound, more energetic and it's going crazier and stuff like that. Just doing more to it, which you're not really doing that much to it. And the way, if you want to do this, like I said, what I do is I'll just make the patterns regular, use the regular pattern. If you click the little button up here and go to make unique, it will make it a unique pattern. And you can double click that pattern that you just made unique and you can edit it in there and it will not affect all the other patterns. So just right click the little piano right here and go to make unique and you make it its own pattern. And if I actually go to the pattern selector right here, you actually see I have 3 different 808 patterns. See, one, that's the first one, the second one, and the third one because I made them all unique. So that's how you can, that helps you. That's just a workflow tip right there to kind of speed up. But as you see, I got, 3 different 808 patterns, and I have 2 parts that only occur once in the beat, which is pretty cool. So that's how I got, my first 8 bars gonna be different, second 8 bars gonna be different, third 8 bars gonna be different, and the last 8 bars gonna be different. That's how I get, every 8 bars different. You know what I'm saying? Or is it every 8 bars or every 4 bars? Because 8 bars would be 1, 2, 3. That'd be 8 bars, because 16 it's a 16-bar loop. But you know what I'm saying? Like I count every space. Let's put it like that, every space. So we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. The next 8's different. Next 8 different. Next 8 different. That's how I go by. So 8 bars, whatever. So some tricks you want to do. I always start my intros off with nothing going on for the verse. So you hear drums, you hear the main melody, you hear that one sound that only happens one time. No snares, no hi-hats, no nothing. Okay, that's that kind of like, it's going in like, oh no, the kind of the intro. Then I bring the snares in, I bring the hi-hats in. No, I bring the snares in, and I bring all the other sounds. I bring a couple other sounds in. So and I decided to keep the energy going. I'm gonna add the ARP in there too to kind of keep that energy going, to increase the energy that I already had at the beginning, because it has like a little breakdown part. So I don't know, something like that. Then and it kind of in doing it this way kind of encourages the artist to kind of switch their flow up just a little bit, and that kind of makes their song sound better because they can switch their flow up here and there because you're switching the beat up. It kind of doesn't. A lot of people might say it might catch the artist off guard. It might not be ready, but honestly, it will force the artist to think harder and make better decisions within their beat, their song, to, of course, you know, make a better song. Because a static song sounds boring, and if an artist who can constantly evolve throughout the song, because the song's evolving, will have a better chance. So think of it like that. If you think that's gonna be too much, then bring the sound down. Like the ARP, I think in my opinion, when the full mix is done, I'm gonna bring the ARP down a little bit lower so you can't hear it as much and more as aggressive as it is now. But, you know, because a lot of people say, you know, you make that sound like gonna throw them off. It's not gonna throw them off. If they're a good artist, it ain't gonna throw them off at all. They're gonna just, you know, adapt to it and keep on moving. The artists that you're working with, you need to start working with them because they're not gonna get you nowhere. If it's because they paying you, don't mean, I mean, you want to get somewhere with the artist you're working with. You want to find an artist that you can really work with and grow with. So, you know, but if you're doing a good job at your beat, the artist can do a great job too if it's a good artist. If they can't, then they're not a good artist. So quit working with them. So yeah, you want to keep it evolving. Then, like I said, the next part I bring in the hi-hats now. But look, I took out the regular hi-hat, the metronome hi-hats and the metronome water effect, and I brought just a regular hi-hat. So it goes from 2. And it has a whole new feel to it right there. It has a whole new feel to it, whole new, you know, something different right there. And then the last part, I break it back down again. I take everything away and I bring in that one other sound that wasn't heard throughout the beat and bring it in there to give it a more ambient kind of ambient feel to be like, okay, here's the end of the verse, the chorus come back up. So this is how you know, because like I say, it breaks down kind of like the intro. So then we got. See, there's no drums now. There's no drums, no snares, you know, it's just, but it's different. So the main thing to keep going with this is, you know, make sure every 8 parts is different, every 8 bars different, and that will give you a more evolving beat. So now you listen to the beat in a whole. I'm not gonna play the whole beat because that'd be, you know, wasting more time. As you see, the intro is different. The intro is very minimalistic, builds up. It has that separation with the tape stop effect. My chorus, one half is different from the other half. Give it that separation. The verses, it starts off, it builds back up like the chorus. Breakdown part, build up. Energy, more energy, break it back down, you know. And like I said, you can do that in a different way. You can go more energy. You can go like straight up energetic, aggressive, and then slowly build back out. Or you can build up even slower, and at the end you give them like the last 8 bars, boom, give them like some heavy, hard hitting spit, you know, energy and all that. So it's different ways you can do it, but just remember, every part needs to have a different part after the other. No 2 parts should be the same. Like I said, this chorus should not be, these 2 should not be the exact same. Every part should be different. It shouldn't be, this shouldn't be right here. Like I shouldn't have it looking like this. I should not have it looking like this. The beat should not look like this. It should not look exactly the same. You know, it should not look like that. This is boring. This is a boring arrangement right here. What I'm doing right now. That is a very flat, boring arrangement where it's just half the beat is exactly the same. That's boring and it's uninspired, and I don't want to listen to that. You want to make sure you have different parts. So you want to take stuff away, add stuff in there, you know. You want to make sure that it's different in some way. You know, keep every 8 bars different because that will make your arrangement that much more evolving, that much more energetic, that much more powerful. So hope you take these tips in consideration. I know I kind of went on a long rant, but arrangement is a topic that you really got to go in detail about why you make the choices you make in order to understand it. So hopefully you guys enjoyed this. I'm glad for all the comments that I got and all the requests I got for this. I mean, it means a lot that you guys really like these, really like seeing this. I'm very happy, and it makes me feel very good that you guys wanted to see this happen. Like I like that. That makes me feel really, really good that you guys wanted to arrange to it. So I hope this helped you guys out. Hope your arrangements get a little better. Remember the rule of 8 seconds, 8 bars. Make them all different and separate your stuff. So I hope you guys enjoy. Like always, you know who it is, your boy Slim, aka Mr. Different. Not motivated by the money, but the like, comment, subscribe, and views. And with that being said, hope you guys enjoy, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Have a good one.